Well, my husband was an ex-serviceman from the Second World War. Became immediately interested in forming an RSL sub-branch in Currumbin. Some years after the sub-branch was formed, it was decided to form a women's auxiliary to support the sub-branch. That's when I became more interested in RSL affairs.
And you became national
President's position in the women's auxiliary. On a couple of occasions, when I wasn't president, I held another position in the auxiliary. And we did many local activities in the Currumbin Palm Beach area, like catering for weddings, and we always did the luncheon on Anzac Day for the men.
So Anzac Day, always breakfasts,
yes,
eggs,
well,
sausages, bacon.
When we first started working with the sub-branch, there were only about 40 to 50 members in the sub-branch, so, and we catered for the big luncheon in the hall, and I can't help smiling when I see the people that have got to be catered for today. Thousands at the dawn service. And
something like
we used to help the men after the dawn service in the days gone by.
invite them all in.
My people were people from Currumbin Valley, and we had a dairy, so we supplied the milk for the rum. It was always rum and milk and
somebody
breakfast,
else with the eggs.
And we could easily do it for 40 or so, but when I look at the people today, they wouldn't believe that we catered for the Anzac Day luncheon.
Many's the time we got burnt with the eggs splashing.
Before that sub-branch was formed, were women knitting things for the Comforts Fund. They called it the Comforts Fund, and they would cook biscuits and fruit cakes and do make socks, and they would be sent to our local boys who were involved in the war in New Guinea and those places.
I joined in the 80s, and Betty was president. Betty was our last one before we sort of call it the new generation sort of thing, you know. In the 80s we started off with a new crowd, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, like, and from there on it sort of changed a little bit because they had caterers in the club and we couldn't do the catering and all the going, and then we started we have an advocate, and we have pension officers, and we have welfare officers, and we have a minute secretary. Yes, they look after us. For any queries at all, if they don't know, they'll find out, and they've helped a lot of people to improve on their pensions. Ace Conway he did it before it was called the support centre. We did it over at the other club. We had a little office underneath the stairway, and 4 of us used to be in there.
So when you mentioned the office in the stairway, what was the size of the room for your office?
About the size of that table. A little bit bigger, just enough room for 4 of us to get into there. It was a very small thing, but then it started to get bigger. 14 years ago it became the Veteran Support Centre.
I've reached a fairly great age, and so I'm not active anymore in the auxiliary, but I am a life member. I well remember the day peace was declared. I was working at that time in administration out at the Rockley munitions factory, and everyone just dropped pens and whatever they had and left. We left properly, everyone congregated into the city, and we all just marched in the streets. And I could remember one of our people that worked with us, there was a fellow sweeping the gutters, and she just grabbed the broom from him and started sweeping in the street. It was a great, wonderful time. But